I'm standing between you and dinner, so I'll keep this really short. I really don't have any grand vision about how do we build an enduring institution, because I haven't built one. And I don't know too many people here who built an enduring institution, so they're far better qualified than I am. I'll just share 2 or 3 very quick things that I've learned. One is, a feature is not a product is not a business is not a company is not an organization. At each stage, there's a log scale of change that takes place. And an organization is one that has enduring impact way beyond the transient nature of a company. When you meet somebody even after 20 years, you'll say, this guy is a XYZ guy. This guy is an Infosys guy. This guy is whatever guy, right? So that is what an organization does. It leaves behind a legacy that transcends the material. So the question that you have to ask is, in today's world, when all of us are sitting here and talking of Swarajya, Swarajya implies a certain sense of self, right? And what is it that is a sense of self that is going to ensure that there's an organizational-like capability to all of us sitting here, and for this grand vision of whatever that we are hoping that India will kind of deliver in the 21st century, right? We are in the second decade of the 21st century. China has a dream. It's called the Chinese dream, right? With Xi Jinping has gone and talked about it. There's a very clearly articulated one. America has a dream. Everyone has a dream. So what is the Indian dream? Do we know? Right? And the point is, without a dream, without an aspiration, without an ambition, without an achievement, without action, a dream remains something that you always kind of visualize with your eyes closed, right? What is the grand Indian dream? Do we all know that? If we ask each one of us, each one of us will have 20 different responses to it, right? Because we haven't had that ability to articulate a grand vision for this country. In my opinion, a grand vision comes not on an empty stomach, right? All of us are here, we are kind of fortunate, so we have the luxury of being able to do things. It comes when there is economic power. Speak softly, carry a big stick, right? It's an old Chinese proverb. And it's very important to keep that in mind. So unless there is economic power, nobody takes you seriously. Right? We adopted a moralistic, preachy attitude way back in the 60s and 70s with non-alignment and all the rest of it. The only 2 countries that were non-aligned were the Soviet Union and the US. Everybody else was aligned. Right? So there's no point in talking about such things. Right? You must have the demonstrated economic power. China is listened to today because it has clear economic clout. And that is, to me, is job number 1. You have that, you can essentially build the foundation for everything else. And the question to ask is, what kind of clout is it when a Indian Jawan stands at Nathula, and when he wants to call up his home in Bihar, the call bounces off a Chinese cell tower in China and then reaches home? What kind of economic power are we talking about when we have to import aluminium caskets for the bodies of our soldiers at Kargil? 4 pieces of aluminium riveted together we can't make. What kind of economic power is it when we are the world's largest importer of arms? We overtook China last year. What kind of economic power is it when we don't have a single Indian telecom company and we are supposed to be the world's fastest growing telecom market? You can go on and on and on and on, each and everything. You go to Delhi, you meet people there, you find that people in positions of power, Department of Science and Technology and everything else. Just take a look at the email IDs. It'll have a Gmail or a Yahoo or a Hotmail account. And you expect top secret documents to be flying around. What are we talking about, right? It all flows from awareness, it flows from intent, it flows from a desire to win, a desire to make your mark in the world. And that's the most important thing, right? And I'll just stop with 2 quick quotes, one by Rabindranath Tagore, which stayed with me for a very, very long period of time. I want the doors and windows of my house to be open at all times, such that the winds of different cultures flow freely through my house, but I refuse to be blown off my feet, right? It's important to keep that in mind. The second thing, when we keep talking about, all kinds of momentous events in the past, future, all the rest of it, ask yourselves, what is the action? That action will flow only from a deep burning desire to win, right? And it flows from the economic objectives that we have to set. There's a nice quote from the Upanishads. You are what your deep driving desire is, As is your desire, so is your will. As is your will, so is your action. As is your action, so is your destiny. Right? We need to understand that. It all boils down to building capability, competence, capacity, and then acting on it. Without that, it all remain nice talk, and that's about it. Okay? So if you want to be really focused on creating a Swarajya for yourselves, focus on being economically powerful, ensuring that 1 million graduates who graduate every month out of India get jobs. Otherwise, what do you think is going to happen to them? They become fodder for somebody to really manipulate them. So understand all of these things is what my sincere plea to all of you is. And then let's go and make it happen. And then you can say, yes, we have a Swarajya, we have an India, we have a set of attributes that defines what an Indian dream can be. All right? Thank you very much.